The CBS Sunday Night News. I'm Charles Osgood. Nearly 6 weeks after the Challenger explosion, searchers have recovered remains of some of the astronauts. They were inside the shuttle's crew compartment found on the floor of the Atlantic off Florida. Bruce Hall has details.
CBS News has learned that the Navy ship USS Preserver, which came into port last night under the cover of darkness and without lights, brought the remains of some of Challenger 7 astronauts. Those remains have been taken to this hospital at Patrick Air Force Base near Cocoa Beach, Florida, for positive identification. The father of astronaut Ron McNair was told just before making an appearance in New York.
Since I have been traveling, I just found out about the discovery about an hour ago. And I'm trying to do my best.
NASA said they notified all the families, but the father of astronaut Greg Jarvis says he has not heard from the space agency.
I'm angry, that I haven't been notified.
The 7 astronauts, including school teacher Krista McAuliffe, were killed during the explosion 73 seconds into the flight. While the condition of the heavily reinforced crew compartment is not known, it is believed to be relatively intact. However, debris from the cabin and personal effects already recovered indicate a rupture. Officials confirm some of the remains are still in the portion of the capsule that divers found at 100 feet of water, about 25 miles northeast of the launch pad. The Preserver returned to the site today, hoping to send more divers down to begin preparing for the recovery of the capsule, but they ran into bad weather.
We're seeing 6 to 8 foot swells right now, and I don't think it's safe enough to dive.
When the weather improves, officials say it will still take several days to lift the capsule from the ocean floor. Bruce Hall, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.
Later this week, a European satellite will have the closest encounter ever with Halley's Comet. And there's a chance the spacecraft won't survive it. A Soviet probe taking pictures of Halley's was damaged by some high-speed space dust today when it came within about 5,000 miles of the comet. Bert Quint reports.
Like Vega 1, which approached the comet at a slightly greater distance from the other side last Thursday, Vega 2 is part of an international effort to find out what comets are made of.
Comets are the stuff that fell together to make the planets 4.5 billion years ago at the time of the origin of the solar system. So they are the stuff out of which our world was made, and in that sense, the stuff out of which we were made.
Scientists believe there's a lot of ice in a comet, a dirty snowball, one calls it. By examining these pictures, they hope to learn what makes the snowball dirty. The first quick look indicates that the nucleus of Halley's Comet is a solid, egg-shaped body nearly 4 miles in diameter and wrapped in a cocoon of dust. Another unmanned craft, the Giotto, launched by the European Space Agency, is scheduled to venture closer to a little over 300 miles next Thursday. Some experts predict the comet's dust particles will destroy it, but the Giotto is carrying a television camera, and if it succeeds in sending back real pictures that close in, they feel the suicide mission will have paid off. Bert Quint, CBS News, Moscow.
13 years after the Supreme Court legalized abortion, thousands of women demonstrated against attempts to get it outlawed again. They marched from the White House to the Capitol. And tomorrow, hundreds of women are expected to start lobbying Congress to remove an anti-abortion rider from a civil rights bill. A big push is coming this week for Congress to do something about the dramatic increase in insurance rates. Fred Graham reports.
Cost of ski lift tickets has risen by as much as 25% at some resorts because liability insurance premiums are up, sometimes by 500%. Daycare centers are closing because insurance rates have gone up, sometimes by as much as 1,000%. And some bartenders have instituted a $30 martini to protest skyrocketing insurance costs due to suits growing out of drunk driving cases. In Congress, hearings have already begun into the lawsuit explosion that is blamed for the insurance crisis. On Tuesday, 1,000 businessmen will descend on Capitol Hill to lobby for a federal law to limit damage judgments.
The people in the state level know this is a #1 problem, but they're not seeing the political pressure brought to bear to defeat the trial lawyers. This is an effort to build political support, certainly, for what we think is very important national need right now.
Congress is considering bills that would place caps on damages for pain and suffering, limit punitive damages, restrict lawyers' percentage fees, and impose federal regulation of the insurance industry. Consumer groups argue that the current insurance crisis was created by greedy and inefficient insurance companies. But whatever the reason, Congress seems inclined to crack down on lawyers and lawsuits. Fred Graham, CBS News, Washington.
President Reagan is showing signs he may be ready to compromise with Congress to get the military aid he wants for Nicaraguan rebels. He told reporters today he's willing to talk, but the president said he'll have to wait and see what someone offers.